So I have to move him forward 2 times, and then I have to light up the blue square. And this one gets into turns and everything also. And the one that's most challenging for me, but would not be for my kids, is hopscotch. It's like Scratch. So I was playing with this little cupcake during lunch. You have moves and repeats, and this is looks really similar to the hour of code that my kids did. So I got him to move. He's going to spin in a circle and then continue moving. And the hard thing for me is pixels. I don't know if that's hard for anyone else, but so there's my little cupcake that I programmed. So I just started playing with this one. I think that my kids would really like this one that did the hour of code. But so that's 4 apps. It was Codable, Daisy the Dino, Lightbot, and Hopscotch. Those are my 4 code apps I played with today.
Okay, don't worry everyone, there's still space and time to sign up for the demo slam. So keep signing in. Carolyn Skiba's going to go next.
So I am here not only to show you one very small but very helpful thing I discovered today, but to model for you how you don't have to have an earth-shattering thing to share, but something cool that might just be a handy tip for somebody else. So I was playing around with Doceri, which in my ongoing quest to find a screencasting app that I really like and that shares student screencasts in the way that I would like to be shared. So I was playing around with Doceri, and one of the things that I discovered was not only can you have a background of graph paper, which I'm sure many of you who are Doceri users already know, but they have a really wide range of graph paper options over here, as well as maps and backgrounds that are already in the app. So math teachers, I think this is a really cool option to use. But I wanted to make an XY axis on here, and so I was drawing my line, and I was like, oh man, I can't get the line to line up perfectly, and is it perfectly straight? If you tap with the second finger, so see how right now it goes just at any infinite angle, but if you tap with your second finger, it toggles it on or off. I know, right? I freaked out. And so it's like you can get a 90 degree, 45 degree, whatever, and then you're like, boom, it's straight. And then if you're like, oh, this is annoying, maybe I don't want this, tap again, and it goes off. What? So amazing. Slam.
Slam. Wow. Slam. Okay. Who's on deck? Zach. Anita. She's up. Sure.
I'm not right.
Yeah. Anita. Do you know what you got going that you want to go?
Yeah. So Lauren, who is just up here, showed me this amazing tool called LucidPress. And I just have to give my little public service announcement. Like, this is the power of being connected, right? That you can learn a new tool and you can bring it back to your classroom the next day. And so for anyone who's a Chromebook classroom or it has upper grade students, I think it's a great tool because often Google Docs isn't pretty. And you can't create this beautiful published work from Google Docs, and LucidPress does that. So you just install it in your Google Drive, and your students can create prints. And then there's also collaboration. So just like the comments that happen in Google Drive, they can also happen in Google Press. So kids could be collaborating on an assignment that you've taught and they're synthesizing. So it's really cool, and it's built for this collaboration, and it's all connected to Google Drive. So the workflow is already built in, and it's free. So it's a great tool, and students can click on an image and go to Google and search and add an image right away. So it's really user-friendly. I definitely recommend it for like 4th on up. So check out LucidPress. Slam!
Slam! Zach, are you using a computer or are you?
I have a video.
Okay, so let me.
On deck, Katie.
They put the wrong person in charge of this. I don't know if I know how to do all this.
I got it.
I was just supposed to do this. See, I didn't even know. Or you're going to plug it into your phone.
Whichever would be easy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can't wait for what.
You know what's coming.
Wait for it.
Wait, yeah, don't show your code.
No, okay.
So Bill had brought the maker stuff that you were talking about earlier, and one was these code box. What were they called again, Bill? Arduino. That were I wouldn't call them simple circuits, but they took us a minute to figure out, and they were hooked up to a computer program that we had to download. That who was it? Jeff was brave enough to put on his computer for the rest of the time. And so we did one of the circuits that we created had this, I can't remember what we'll call it, but it creates a clicking noise, and if you set the frequency quick enough, it'll buzz, and if you set it even specifically, it'll make songs. And it said that it was going to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star when we plugged it in, and we were really excited to hear it, and this is what it played. We got rickrolled by the circuit. See what
It was totally awesome.
That's what was programmed into there, programmed into rickroll us. And we had a good laugh. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, we played with those for a second because we thought they were going to be really easy, and they were not. But we had great success with it. Are you going down, Cam?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm only allowed to control one form of technology at a time, so I'm going to pick the microphone. All right.
Do you need sound? I don't need sound. Okay, so I was the maker's thank you, Bill, because he brought this box that he got, and it's Big Shot Do-It-Yourself digital camera. So you open it up, and it has all these parts in it, right? All these little things, all these parts, and I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to build that. I'm going to make such a mess of this, and this guy's going to hate me for the rest of his life. And look what happened. I built a camera. All right, so it's a real working digital camera. As you can see, it even has a screen. Yep, so I'm going to take a picture of you guys. Wait, okay. Here you all are. The picture. Yeah. And I tweeted out some of the other pictures. It's a good-looking group. The other really cool thing is that they have this website, and it has all this learning that goes with it. So you can learn all about the different pieces. You can learn about color, all the different, like, I don't know, there's just so much there. And then there's also like things for other stuff that you can build in here somewhere. I don't know where it was, but go on their website, Big Shot Camera, and it's like you can build kaleidoscopes. It shows you how to make a pinhole camera, and it's really, really cool. And I feel really good about myself because I built something. So,
Slam! Yeah!
Awesome.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Katie. This is the next person coming up. I can tell she's ready. Do you need the dot cam, or do you want to plug into that?
Plugging in would be great.
Okay.
Whatever.
I'll get my assistants to do that because I don't know how they're working all the dots up here. I'm just the host.
Next up, Aaron and Mia, and if you guys could just head to this direction while the person in front of you is presenting.
All right.
Really
There you go.
Take it over. And waiting for it to come up.
Well, if you
Is
want,
it-
you gotta click on.
I
Click
brought
on
up the setting.
And for
Yeah,
those of
and
you
mirror.
who are
So you start
wondering what's
mirroring.
going on in the video,
Perfect.
this is live broadcasting on YouTube right now. So this whole thing's going to be archived on YouTube so you can watch it later. We have about 13 people tuning in now.
All right, so I'm a high school English teacher, and I always get a little bit nervous when research rolls around because I'm always taking home tons and tons and tons of papers. So I had last year developed this online source evaluation form, so I didn't have to bring it home with every single source for all 75 of my kids. But then I was able to sit in the script today, and I took this spreadsheet, and it's lots of stuff up there that my kids were producing, and instead of just having me have the info, I was able to do some programming with Formule.
Yeah.
So now it totals up their ratings of their sources and emails it to them. So they get an immediate email that tells them how reliable or unreliable their sources are. And let's see if I brought this up just because I did a test one to show. So this is the email that they get. It's not going to log in. But they get an email from me to organize their sources, and it's nice and wonderful because I'm not taking home hundreds of sources and things like that. So that was really nice to be able to get that going.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, next up we have Mia and Aaron, and they're going to talk about
Thank you.
Answer. Who's going first? Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
You gotta have this. Okay. I can't see him.
So Laura, right? Raise your hand.
Laura?
Laura turned us on to Chirp, which is kind of like a QR code, but it sends it
with sound.
With sound.
So basically, you can chirp pictures. You can add a picture from your own camera roll, or actually you can take a photo and just send it out also. You can add a website that kids can go into. So if the kids are all linked up in Chirp, you can, anyone who's on Chirp in this room, you'll hear this little sound and it'll automatically take you to whatever you want to chirp out. So in my classroom, we use Today's Meet, like during a read aloud, the kids can use the back channel to type down what they're thinking. I've used QR codes for them to scan in and be on Today's Meet so they don't have to type out the website. But now I could have them open up Chirp and I can add the link for Today's Meet, and from my iPad I can chirp it and it'll go. Mia's will be here.
So here's
I'll
mine.
show you. I'll chirp it, and then it pops.
And then it comes up on mine.
And she can just access whatever website I had wanted her to open.
It says open in Safari.
Yeah.
And I just open it.
Wow.
And then they don't have to put in
They don't have to
long
type anything.
URLs.
We also used it, I can't remember who I had met back there. She had found a link from a website. They were a PDF that the kids could annotate over. If it's opened in, I don't know, we used like, I can't even remember. I'm going to find it right here. Okay, so this PDF, she chirped to me. It was from a website. Mia can go to it.
I have to go. You have to be inside of Chirp to get the Chirp yourself. You would have to make sure your kids open it up.
What's the sound?
Okay, so when she opens this, she can actually open it in like Open Notes or some other annotating device, and then it's right there for the kids to be able to write over the top of it and be sharing some sort of article with the kids, which is really cool.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys going to do iMovie too?
That's not
Okay.
Slam, sure. Who's up? Miss Kristen?
Jenny.
Jenny who? Oh, Megara. Here she is.
Jenny.
Yes. Ladies, is that an app for iPads? Sure. Yes, iPad app.
We had to search for it though. We couldn't search for it in the App Store.
Chirp.io for the link. Chirp.io.
I.O.
It looks like this. I put it on the Twitter.
So it's chirp.io. And it'll also be tweeted on the hashtag.
So that's the icon, the little yellow. It looks like a little yellow.
Not the screen lady. Okay, awesome.
All right, guys. So, all right, guys. So, how many of you have used and loved Octopus?
Woo!
A few people. All right. Well, for you 4 people, I have some good news for you. And actually, I have some good news for the rest of you too, because for those of you, how many of you would like to try Google Script, but it sounds really scary and you don't want to? All right. Well, Andrew Stillman, who's the writer of these scripts, and his team at New Vision's Cloud Lab, which is a cohort of 70-plus schools in New York City, have rewritten a bunch of the scripts, and they are releasing within the next week or so. So for those of you who haven't seen Doctopus, what it is it's a Google script that layers onto a spreadsheet, and it's a virtual copy machine. So instead of creating Google Docs or spreadsheets and presentations and then making copies of them and sending them out to your kids and worrying about them sharing them back with you, it automates the copying of the spreadsheets, the sharing, and the rubric grading, and does it all for you with a click of a button. Now, the way it used to work was you installed the script, and then you had a roster of your kids, and it ran the script on top of it. Now, the frustrating part of this is it's on top of the information that you're referencing. Moreover, this is scary. Look at all, like, it's like email addresses, blah, 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 editors cannot, scary. So, that's Dr. Oldput introducing the new Doctopus. First of all, it's a sidebar, so you can see the roster while you work. Second of all, it has a real octopus, which is prettier.
What?
Next, it has all this text that's bulleted out that uses teacher-friendly language. So you don't need Nick Giacobbe or me or Ben walking you through, that guy, how to do Doctopus or even watch a screencast because it takes you step by step. Moreover, you don't, but wait, there's more. You used to have to make copies of rosters in the past. Now you create one roster and it maintains it forever. You can, even if you're not ready. I know, just these guys right up here. Moreover, but wait, there's more, just for Ben. So if you come to school without doing your homework, or as a teacher, don't start running the script before you've actually built a roster, you can build it directly on the sheet and it creates the template for you. So you don't have to do any pre-work like you used to on Doctopus. But finally, for those of you who are using G-Class folders or Hapara, it automatically imports your roster from those third-party learning management systems. So you don't have to do anything. And finally, it also integrates all of G-Class folders. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, the team at Cloud Labs at Andrew Stillman's network are super OCD, just like me. That's why I love them. And so they made it so that when it's creating all these copies for your kids, it's not going into the proverbial bottom of their backpack, i.e. just cluttering up their drive. It creates nested folders for them, a turn-in folder, a using folder, an edit folder, and it builds out all of the Google Drive structure for them, automated within this one script using teacher-friendly language. Look for it next week at a Google Drive near you.
Wow. Amazing. All right, up next. I can never tell if you're coming up to help me or if you're coming up to present.
No,
oh, that's the live broadcast.
Oh, I can't touch that one yet.
Oh, you can.
Yeah. No, use
Watch this.
I'm just
Just your presentation.
Yeah, and we'll just and screencast. I'm gonna screen share and now.
Whoa!
Oh,
Wait, what?
Bottomless pit.
Wait, what?
You want a new towel?
No, I can do it as long as that's supposed to look like that and it's not messing anybody else up. Okay, so it's hard to type and hold the microphone at the same time.
Here, watch me.
Oh, you're
Okay,
so
good.
lovely. Oh, you should get one of these. They're wonderful. So we do a lot of work, I shouldn't say a lot, but we have a lot of teachers who are moving towards flipped classrooms. So there's two really nice tools that our teachers are using. One is MoveNote. I'm sorry, I'm used to tapping and not actually touching. And so you get this, where you can do a screencast, and then you can add your, moving head, talking head to it. Which for some people, I mean, they don't want to hear just the voice. They like to actually see the instructor and what they're saying, or if there's any other video that's accompanying, like the screencast and what they're presenting. So that's a great tool. In fact, this is one of my teachers right here. That's Annalisa.
Oh.
And then another great tool is called Video Notes. And this one integrates with Google Drive. And let me log into my account really quick. So what Video Notes does is, I am. Mm-hmm. Do you have Video Notes? You're gonna know. Okay. You're about to have Video Notes. So I find a YouTube video. Or other videos.
Yes, please, to market president.
And well, we were talking about it earlier.
Oh my God.
And I pick up that video and I can load it here. And when I'm watching the video, I can annotate over here on this side, and it saves right in the Google Drive. So I'm gonna just change my address. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so I'll play it over
we
here.
We all need a pep talk.
Yes, go away from the chair. Everybody go away. And on this side, whatever I'm typing.
The world needs to stop being boring. Yeah, boring is easy. Everybody can be boring, but you're good at that. Life is not a game, people. Life isn't a serial either. Well,
so it indicates like
and
the
if life
minutes,
is a
the
game,
seconds and the minutes of
are we
where
on
I'm
the same team?
typing. So
I'm really right.
this is a great tool for note taking on
You're
video.
my team.
Slam.
Woo! Damn, that was a, what? Click back on the note. Oh dang! Click on the time and it'll tell you where it took you, where you typed it.
Here? Yeah, what?
Oh, so you can
Right.
find it right back in the video. Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing. Sam, all our friends on the Hangout, you're maybe going to be back. Let me see if I'm smart enough to figure out the screen share. I am. Can we unplug it? Yeah, we're on the Wi-Fi.
Put that one there, put that one there.
Okay. All my friends at home, sorry about the...
Cool. Thanks.
Okay. Are you in?
In a second.
Okay. Do I need a mic, girl?
Thanks for the mic hold.
Oh, of course. I'm happy to do it.
There you go.
Okay. Here's Bill.
Oh, I can't see it. Hold on. Alright, sorry.
I'm a big fan of Bill.
Me too.
Yay, Bill.
Thank you.
Bill Samuel. And in this brief
Yeah, you're
moment,
back. Oh,
y'all
you can't
need
see it.
So go get another sandwich.
Or take
Because we ain't taking this all home.
Or take one home for our
Or
home
to the bus.
There we
significant
go.
other /child significant other.
Okay, back to Bill.
All right, so many of you may know about the Hour of Code that took place in December. It was a worldwide initiative to try and get students to try out coding, computer programming for an hour in school. There were millions of students and schools around the country that did it. Anyone involved in that? Thanks. All right, so it was put on by Code.org, and it had a lot of great sponsors: Google, Facebook, and practically everyone who's somebody in tech was involved. So one of the things that Code.org is now doing is that they are creating curriculum. I know they're teaming up with CPS to get computer science into the high schools, I believe. Grade schools as well. There we go. But they have an online curriculum right now. At the present time, it's just K through 8, and it takes the Hour of Code tutorials that you may have been familiar with and builds upon those with those videos as well. Later this year for the fall semester, they're going to have it broken down into a K2, 3, a K5, 6, 8, and then also a high school program, so you can tailor it to your classroom needs. But right now, you have the opportunity to get $1,000 through Donors Choose for your classroom if you get students involved. For the time being, they started this in late December, and it's been going on since then. The first 1,000 teachers that get 15 students to go through their online program, which they say takes about 20 hours, it's more like 5 to 10 hours. Looks like this, and it has Angry Birds and Plants vs. Zombies, and it's all block-based, so if you're familiar with Scratch, it's great. Get 15 students to go through that program, and they will email you a Donors Choose certificate for $1,000 for your own classroom. So you just create, and that's one of the ways that I was able to get some of the materials that I brought today for the Makers group. I wrote a Donors Choose project and funded it myself. So it looks like when you sign in, this is kind of what the students see, and they have to complete all of these little challenges, such as, and they have to get 27 trophies. And it's very kid-friendly. They have little videos from famous people and not so famous people, and tells you what to do, and you run the program. It's iPad-friendly. I think it also works on Chromebooks, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably. And you basically are just snapping blocks on right here to get this Angry Bird to find the pig. And you get through all 27 trophies, and then you are able to track student progress and see what students have completed, where they're at. You don't have to have the first 15 students completed. It's just any 15 students that sign up under your account. They create their own usernames, and so I can go in and see the code that they've done. I can also see recent activity and go and take a look and see the code that they were putting in as well to complete those tasks. So right now it's still available. First 1,000 teachers that did it, so it was $1 million worth of money towards Donors Choose. As of yesterday, they were still giving them out. So, slam.
Slam! Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Bill. Next is Kim, correct? Are you going computer? Computer, okay. Should be set up here. Oh. That's something I actually didn't know. Slam to that new information. I did not know that was only for public schools.
One for school.
And it's also one per school, so you can only have one per teacher. One per school? One per teacher? Jenny?
Got the mirror? Yeah. Is that it?
So what is it? What's the final verdict? One per teacher. One per teacher. So you don't have to fight anybody at your school. There will be no fight club because you can all do it. Okay, here we go. Formula.
Hi, I'm Kim. Just quickly, I'm going to go through Google Script and how cool I learned about formula thanks to Nick. Also today. Also, way back when, thanks to Jenny, I learned about mood check-in, so I've been doing it with my kids. Every morning they come in, fill out this Google form through a QR code, and at the bottom the questions are, do you want a private conversation with your teacher, yes or no? So within my Google form, no, sorry, that was the old one. Through my Google form, I've conditioned it, so if they do yes, it'll come up yellow. Sorry, you're not really seeing it very well. But if it highlights yellow, I'll know that they want a private conversation. But sometimes I get locked into doing things in the morning and I forgot to check it, and then it's 2 o'clock and I'm like, yikes, you know, someone wanted a conversation with me if I'm a bad teacher. So what Google Formula does is now is going to send me an email saying this person wants a private conversation. So, or I have also conditioned it to send me an email if anybody in the morning is angry or sad. So, which is pretty cool. So again, I check my email way more frequently than I remember to put mood check-in if I'm crazy in the morning. So then I get an email like this: check in with the following student, Kim, due to his or her feeling sad. So to send an email right to me, and I feel like it's going to save me some good conversation. Well, not save me, but have me some good conversations. So there we go.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Kim. Grab your swag. Laura, right? Oh, there she is. She's already ready. Are you plugging in, or are you? Yeah. Okay. Then I have to do this.
I got to give you that, though.
Okay.
Just talk while I do that.
Okay. So one of the sessions I really wanted to play with today was iMovie. My kids, I'm a first grade teacher, and my kids kind of live in iMovie right now. It's their favorite way to get information to me and to each other. So they're kind of into the layering and having fun with that, but we're getting into some parts of our year that are different than what we currently do. So we're almost to the end of our first round of Genius Hour, so I was wondering if some of my kids wanted to use the trailer part of iMovie to help present what they're doing. And also, we just with my group back there, we were talking about how we can take our first grade fairy tale plays and kind of turn them into more of a movie style and that way. So I made this one today. I travel with a group from my district, and every time we come to a new session or a new play date or tech get together, the group that we travel with grows a little bit more. So this I made for today. Oh, wait a minute.
Anything like that.
Okay, ready? No, thank you.
Awesome. I also want to shout out working with your PLN. That's so important, so awesome that you guys are working together and learning together and sharing together. We love that you came here together. PLAYDATE. All right, up next is my guess is Kristen Dunke, but I'm not sure. And this title of this slam is called Cowtown Boss Video Creation.
You need me to like you? Howtoon.
Howtoon.
My bad. Howtown? Howtoon.
Either way. Okay, so this,
Howtown.
I learned this tool in the Creative Chromebook session from the amazing Sue Gorman and others. Lots of great collaboration happening there. But I made this little video. You can do it on the MacBook as well as the Chromebook, as well as the iPad. Yes, on everything. So here you go. This is my little, took me 5 minutes. I'm running out of battery. It's almost over. So all you have to do is it gives you different little, you can create from scratch, or it will give you different text boxes that you can draw in. There's also ways, Skibba showed me how to add like the handwriting. You just drag and drop it and put your text, and it will give you that awesome effect. All right, so lots of different ways to use this for students of all ages in the classroom. Think book report summary, inquiry project, any collaborative activity that students need to pull together and share with the world. The awesome thing that people in my session discovered was that you can also send it directly to Google Drive. So lots of cool tools. And there is an EDU site, so you can create an account for your class, and students are all then archived under the teacher account.
Wow.
Awesome. Howtoon.
And it's a website?
Howtoon. All right, Slam.
Kathy.
Kathy, Hopscotch, where are you at? Is this part of the team that made the iMovie? Oh man, awesome. So Kathy is going to talk to us about Hopscotch, which is the coding app. Okay, we got you hooked up. So once you're ready, you can go right under the iPad.
Okay. No.
Okay, go.
I haven't figured that out yet.
Sound?
Sound. It might be there. I don't know.
Do you want to make it, or do you want me to hold it?
Do you need sound?
No,
I'm good. Okay. No, we're good. So Hopscotch, I've done coding with my 5th graders, and we did our code, and they love it, and they've gone through a couple of apps, and they're ready to do some other things, so I like to give them choice. So Hopscotch was one I hadn't used before, and I figured good place to learn it. So it lets you start from scratch and build something. And like I said, I've never done this before, so I decided to be a cupcake and make my cupcake go around the perimeter and make it bigger. So here it goes. You set the angles, you say what to do, and then I get to tell it to get bigger and to keep moving. Keep going. It stopped. There it goes. It likes this again. There it is. So it can do that, and they do all that on their own. So Hopscotch.
Awesome.
Hopscotch, another coding app. That sounds like a good session. Ellen, teach parents how to use a simple booklet. I'm excited about this one. I don't know what either of those things are. Greencastify, simple booklet. Are you going to plug in, or do you want to go? You need to plug in.
I'll probably plug in.
Okay. Here, I'll trade you. You start talking.
Okay, I normally have an assistant for this. Which one, Jenny? Which one?
Well, I teach 1st grade, and I just had my students creating ebooks using simple booklets. And then I want them to take that home and be able to do that at home also, because there is a free version where they can make up to 10 of them. But I figure their parents won't know how to do it and may not believe that their little 6- and 7-year-old could teach them how to do it or knows how to do it already. So I figured out what Screencastify is today. Didn't know anything about it. And that I can have them in class teach, it probably doesn't really have to teach their parents how to use Simple Booklet at home. So we will record in class step by step how you get started on Simple Booklet, how they do each step of it so that they can do it at home. I can help you. Simple Booklet is the thing I use to make the books, and they're little ebooks that they all can make. And then through Screencastify, which is up in the corner. There you go. You just gotta look at that. So this is, yeah, you gotta look. Okay, this is This is the Simple Booklet, and this is where they've been making their books. So in my classroom, we have 12 books going right now. They're working with a partner, and then I want them to do it at home. So Screencastify is off the screen right now. I need the little thing up there for the tab. But if you know what Screencastify is, it's a little app I downloaded onto my Chromebook, and then it lets you record and be moving the mouse around on the website to show them where exactly they have to go to do each step of making the book. So.
Awesome. Now you can see it here.
All right, I can see it. Oh, yeah, I can see it here. Thanks. All right, so this is where I got the Screencastify. So then it comes, and if I start recording here, then it gives me now I could be talking, and it would be picking me up, and then I can show them where to go to log into the site, and then once they log in, how they get to get started on the book, and just be able to move them through step by step. So that's what we're going to do next.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. The next person, I don't know because the screen's like, oh, see, Claire. Claire. There's two people are walking out. Where's the second one's Claire? Okay. Hi, Claire. Are you going on this? Yep. Okay. That's it. Okay. Do you need me to hold the mic for you? Or do you want to do the mic?
I can do the mic. Okay, that's cool.
Awesome.
All right, so aside from totally geeking out over all Bill's stuff in the maker room, I made a really awesome, not really awesome, stop motion animation thing. I was joking that my next stop is Disney, so there we go.
Awesome.
I'm really interested in video stuff because I run a lab, and so I'm always trying to find new ways for my kids to present what they're learning. So there you go.
Awesome. Lamb, what was the tool again?
I stop motion.
I stop motion. Awesome. I love that video. Claire, don't forget the slide table. You're missing an important step. Ron. This must be Ron. Ron? No? Yeah? Yeah? Is it Ron?
Yeah, I don't have a note with me. So
Hey, Ron.
So you're just going to screencast?
I'll just screencast.
Okay. Wow.
We'll make it work.
We're on old school, new school. Here.
Yeah,
Here you go.
mix it all up.
Can you do that too? Here.
We'll make it work.
I got you.
So those of you who just learned about scripts today, welcome. They're super fun. And if you really get into them, you can get insane. Teachers come to me, I'm a tech coordinator, teachers come to me and they're like, can we do this? And it's, like, oh yeah, it's a simple formula thing, no problem. But what if we took it 10 steps further? And so I like to, as much as possible, start linking other scripts together. So working on this, this is a workload that Jenny was helping me map out. So in our student misconduct reports, teacher makes a referral. It goes, there we go. So they make a referral, and Formule sends it to our Dean of Discipline.
Wow.
And then also, while doing that, creates another form that gets pre-filled with all of the information for that, so that when so here's as all the stuff comes in, it creates a pre-filled link here, which then opens up to this. So all she has to do is, it comes pre-filled with the names. She just makes the specific, whatever, assign a detention, when the detention is going to happen. And then when that gets submitted, it feeds back into the original form, sends an email to the student telling them they have a detention, puts it in their Google Calendar, sends it to their parents.
Awesome.
Also then sends it back to the original teacher who put in the original referral that this chain of events has happened. So don't be afraid. Play with them. You can link as many scripts together. That one involved push data, form mule, form rats, form ranger, and sheet spider.
Whoa! Slam.
It's coming. I'll put it together.
Oh my God.
Awesome slam. And to every kid's dismay when they get the email about they have detention, it's already in their Google Calendar. That's so sweet. All right, thanks, Ron. Chatterpix, Karen. Come on, Karen. This is also a reminder that we're doing happy hour at
Bad dog or bad dog?
Bad Dog on Lincoln? On Lincoln. So we'll be there. If you come and do a slam, I mean, I'm sure you get first dibs at the bar or something. Okay, here you go. Set it right here. Yeah. And then which app is it? Cool. Okay.
So Chatterpix is similar to Blabbereyes. It's a free app. I use this for character traits, or they like to use a picture of me and reinforce the rules. So it's really simple. You open up the app, you go into either the gallery or you can take a photo. If you go into the gallery, it already has some pre-made pictures, or you could tap the picture and then add a picture of your choosing from your camera roll. So we did one for Lemony Snicket, which is always a great story to use. So all you do is click here to next, and then you just simply draw a line for the mouth, and then you hit the microphone, and then you can record. So let's see.
Recording. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm an evil person. And then it can play. I'm an evil person. Siri came on.
Oh, come on, Siri.
Siri messed it up. I'm sorry. Hold on. Here we go. I'm an evil person. So it's really funny when they do a teacher's picture. So they do mine all the time, and then they'll catch me when I'm like doing this or something, and then they'll just, Miss Khalil doesn't like it when people tap her, or something like that. So it's a good, fun, lighthearted app, but it also works for really just seeing what they know about the characters that you're working on. Yes. So.
That was the camera roll.
Yeah, it saves straight to camera roll. And here's the other thing. I forgot about this. There. You could add stickers. So like, he's a pirate with fashionable shades. And then you could just hit next, and then you save either here or you can dispose. Another thing that I wanted to show, we were just talking about this in one of the groups, is speaking or having books or PDFs that speak to the children that really can't read. In my school, I know we have half of our population needs glasses, and they don't have them. So if you just go to set this up, you go into settings, and then you go into the accessibility. It went dark. So if you go into accessibility, you go down to speak selection and make sure that that's on. One thing that's really cool that I noticed with my students, they pay attention more when there's an accent than when there's an English-speaking person. So I turn the speak selection on. You can go to voices, and then you could choose English. From English, you have Australia accent, United Kingdom, Ireland, South Africa. United Kingdom and United States are the ones you pretty much want to stick with, because they say other things like laboratory instead of laboratory, so you want to kind of stay, in English. English. So then if you go back, we'll go into iBooks. And then you can select any text of any PDF. So I'll save a PDF into the iBooks. And then if you just highlight, and then if you notice it'll say speak, just tap that. And it's not doing it. Oh, yes, it is.
Lossless compression, as the name implies, means that.
So whatever you select, it'll speak out, and then you could change if it reads it fast, if it reads it slow. So it's really useful for my non-readers and my non-seers. That's it.
Awesome. Slam. All right. Ben Kovacs. Next. Final performance. Here we are.
I know,
Just getting
geez.
around.
I should be okay. Yeah.
Do you need a microphone
Yes.
holder?
Yeah.
No.
All right, hey everybody. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about Padlet, and it's a sort of a web-based tool that you can use with iPads or with any laptop, and it lets kids have a. Can you fix that?
I don't know.
Maybe unplug it and plug it
He
back
does
in.
need help. He never did.
Maybe I do. Let's try it. Let's try this. I don't know. Fix that. All right. Anyway, so if you ever do silent writing with your kids, or if you want everybody to have a dialogue simultaneously, calling on kids one by one just doesn't engage everybody. So what I've done in the past is just have posters around my room, and kids walk around and they write. But what I've noticed is I can't share that out with families, and the kids can't always re-access that information.
You have to do something special to that.
Jenny, help it out. Or is there a different computer I could just use? Jenny will fix it. And so I've used it just 2 times now. One time I used it for kids to talk about text complexity. And so you can see what happens here is I just provide them with a link to the Padlet wall. And your kids could have accounts, and then that would mean that they could log out of the page, come back in, and change it. But if you don't want to set that up, especially if you have kids in the lower grades, all they need to do is double tap on their iPad or double click to add a new post, and they can write about whatever it is that you have in their topic. So, for example, I can see evidence, or what the kids find evidence of what makes a text complex by taking a screenshot of an article or taking a picture of their book and then annotating. For example, this person talks about how slope style is vocabulary that revolves around a specific event and that people might know about can make a text more or less complex. Adrian talks about how the maturity of the book could make something more complex. Foreign rules and settings in the text, like burqa, can make a text more complex. Or even if, like, some of my students were writing just on the whiteboard, and then people were taking pictures of that to archive it on the website. Because then what I was able to do is in my parent letter, I was able to link to this website so they could see some examples of what their kids are doing. And in this case, the Padlet is just all freeform. The kids post wherever on the web page, but you can also make it so that in the settings, in the layout, it rolls it as a stream. And that way you can just see their different examples in one long motion. We've also used it in writing in our writers' workshop. We started a unit on feature stories, and after the kids immerse themselves in that genre, they notice some qualities about what make features special. So, for example, they always include photographs, diagrams, or graphs that support the text. It always teaches and is connected to the author's experience. It's interesting new French topics, a link to the present without being late-breaking hard news. And so then the next day, what they did was they went into magazines, annotated those magazines, and found examples. So that later throughout the process, they can come back and reference this so that they can, when they write their features, they can have these elements as well. And it was also a great teaching point because we noticed there's a ton of evidence about it being new, fresh topics, but not a lot of evidence to talk about how it teaches and is connected to the author's experience because that's not visible, even though it's still there. And so you can talk about like the quantity of evidence you have under different subheadings, and maybe even for science for your observations, like if you're like, what do you notice about growth development on this day, this day, this day, you can talk about which has more evidence than another. So Padlet is awesome.
And an archive, so you can always have access to it. It doesn't, if you're the owner of it, you can always access it. So you can also see growth from if you do something at the beginning of the unit and then what they know at the end of a unit if there's teaching that happens in between. Here comes Kristen and Anita. I don't know what you gotta do.
Okay, so we just wanted to give a big thanks to everyone for coming to our event. We know that you gave up a Saturday morning, you know, to spend it away from your family to be with us, but we really hope that you have something that you took away from today, that you can go back to your classroom come Monday, and that you've met some very smart, energetic educators who also share your passion, and that they can continue to push you professionally so that you are always doing your absolute best for kids. And so a couple housekeepings. Your evaluation has been emailed to you, and that is just really helpful for us because we want to make this event about you, and we want it to be the best event so that it's worthwhile. And so any feedback that you have for us would really be much appreciated. As well as the bad dog. I feel like we're pushing that a lot. It's in the email, so check that out. We'd love to see you there because we do well after a few cocktails when we're collaborating. And the last thing I want to share is that the learning doesn't have to stop here. The hashtag will continue to happen. There's going to be a Playdate in Sweden on Thursday. We won't be able to understand what they are. Maybe Google Translator will help us out. But, you know, go back to your school. Have a mini Playdate. Get some people together to really explore some new tools. It doesn't have to stop at this event. So I just encourage you to continue to push yourselves professionally.
I just want to reiterate that fact that she said about this continues. I would not be able to do my job without following people on Twitter or some social media to understand what they do each and every day. The fact that we have friends from Sweden here is a huge shout out to that fact. So as much as you can, get your teachers on Twitter or following some social media because I'm in new pre-service teacher education now, and that's just a prerequisite. Every pre-service teacher has to have a Twitter account and learn how to follow first chat, social studies chat, math chat, whatever it is, because that's how they're going to learn, and that's how I got to be a part of this amazing program.
Fantastic. So one more time, a huge thank you to Northside College Prep. Such awesome hosts. Thank you to all of our sponsors for food and for the swag giveaways. We hope that everyone's walking away with something in addition to, you know, that spirit, right? The work we do is hard, and it has been a challenging year for lots of people, but as we heard over and over, that events like this bring us together, and that if you didn't have a PLN when you started the day, we hope you're walking away with one new friend, two new friends, maybe a few people to follow, because Playdate is really about the teachers. And so we're so grateful that you guys are here. In closing, celebrating you, this is another great little tool, Flipagram, allows you to take photos from your camera roll and add some music, load them into a quick slideshow. So thank you once again. Enjoy the rest of your day. We hope to see you later. But of course,
one last push for coming to the happy hour. We have like 30 people coming, so we just want to hang out with you guys all day. It's not that we're happy to hang out by ourselves too. All the leftover gift cards, swag, Google giveaways, books, we're going to give them out at the bar, along with some, we have possibly some free drinks to give out as well. So if you like to drink for free or get free things, join us together. And don't forget to take some food home.
Yes, please. And we're really excited to spend time with you because this will be a time when we don't have to work. So in closing, it's all about the quality of the educators. Thank you for being here today.
So sad.
Buffering. It's buffering.
Buffering.
Oh.
Can you do that for me?
That was awesome.
I don't know, you have to have it somewhere. Thanks everybody for joining us online. We hope you have a great Saturday, and thanks for coming to Playdate 14. Rock it. Music?